Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Tom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy motherfucking Monday. Today is April 22nd, 2024, and this is episode 170. Wow. 170 episodes, man. That's really cooked. I'm not gonna lie to you. 170 actually crept up like super fucking fast. Like, holy shit. But yeah, man, we are pretty much at the end of April. And like I said, I'm your host, Tom Slays. This is episode 170. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you're chilling. Hope you're vibing. Hope your month has been good. But we're here with another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. So let's talk about some shit. Let's dive in. Let's see what's happening. So, we're gonna go over some weekly recap stuff. We're gonna talk about spring 2024. I think that'll be the YouTube upload. We'll talk about that, so that's kind of like archived, and everybody kind of knows what spring is going to look like for the next couple of months. After those two things, we'll hop into some reactions and reviews. So, let's get into it. All right, weekly recap, Jazz. Let's talk about it. What happened at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so. So, per usual, Music Monday's basic logo t-shirts are currently still in stock. We have a few pieces left that we're trying to get off our hands. If you haven't gotten one of those, make sure you tune in and send us a message. We still have smalls, mediums, larges. We are sold out of extra larges and double extra larges. So again, just contact us if you're interested in purchasing a Music Monday's basic logo tee. And like I said, you'll see some promo go up for that relatively soon. Just to remind everybody that those are still available in limited quantities, of course. So that's per usual. Tuesday, actually, we kicked off with February 2024 Patreon appreciation. So we just wanted to give a shout out to all of our Patreons that supported us through February of 2024 this year. You'll see the March one go out relatively soon as well. But that's just a way to kind of show all of our Patreons some support, tag them, show them some love, explain kind of like the lore behind the Patreon and why we initially launched that to begin with. So again, a huge shout out to everybody over on Patreon that supports Music Mondays even further. So you guys are awesome. But the February 2024 appreciation is live now on all socials. So that was Tuesday of last week. We kicked off Wednesday with SoundCloud Sunday submissions and some podcast updates, and then we rolled into Thursday with a brand new YouTube upload. During episode 168 of the Music Mondays podcast, about a couple of weeks ago, we kind of broke down Music Mondays YouTube channel music videos hosting and kind of what we're looking for there as far as like music videos, visuals, even audio. We're totally looking for audio as well. So that YouTube upload is live right now. So again, we are looking for unreleased music videos, visuals, audios, things like that. All sorts of stuff that you'd like to get hosted and promoted for free on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. That YouTube upload details that, and that's live on the channel right now. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And if you already have, thank you. Huge shout out to all you guys supporting the YouTube side of things on Music Mondays, man. You guys are awesome. Much love. So, continuing on. That was Thursday. And again, that's live on the channel right now. I think we're like 7 subs away from 270 on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And subscribe if you haven't already. So rolling into Friday, we actually had a brand new SoundCloud exclusive track go live on the Music Monday SoundCloud. Dry My Eyes actually submitted a exclusive unreleased track that we were able to host over there on SoundCloud. So huge shout out to them. Definitely go check that out and go show that some love right now because that is live. Huge shout out to everybody that's submitted an exclusive as of lately because we've been killing it in that department. If I'm being completely honest with you, man, it's always a pleasure to have some new exclusives up on the SoundCloud. So definitely go show that track some love and go show Dry My Eyes some love as well. So that's live right now. We actually didn't drop an article this week. We have a pretty big piece dropping the middle of this week, actually, so the week of April 22nd. So we didn't actually drop one on Friday just because we wanted to make sure that it was good. A lot of the important parts of Music Mondays when it comes to writing, like we do want to get consistent pieces out. when it comes to like certain bigger pieces and pieces that are kind of like a little bit like more worked on, right? Like I don't think every single piece needs to be some super large like manifesto, 3 weeks, editing process, blah 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 blah. I definitely don't think it needs to be that. But when it comes down to the bigger pieces, we like to put a little bit more elbow grease into things, right? That's very, very important. But you'll see a major piece go up this week, early actually. So if not tomorrow, it'll be Wednesday. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that, and go show that some love when it drops. We got some homies in the chat as well. Vac, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy Monday, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Dry my eyes. Welcome, my friend. I hope you're well. Welcome. Big W's. Big, big, big W's. So we left off with the Friday exclusive. Brand new article will be dropping this week. That's actually a pretty major piece. So that brings us into Saturday. Episode 169 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all platforms right now. If you missed it, so again, that drops on our YouTube channel every single Saturday if you'd like to watch the full broadcast back in full quality. And again, huge shout out to everybody that submitted, came through, showed love. Definitely go check that out and go show the channel some love. And like I said, I think we're like 7 or like 6 subs away from 270. So make sure you go show the YouTube channel some love, because we do upload 2 times a week, full episodes, exclusive segments, underground tips and tricks, a whole lot of good jazzes over there. So go show that in the channel some motherfucking love. Saturday. So continuing on from Saturday, my friends. So episode 169 is live everywhere, including all audio platforms as well. Can't forget to mention that. But pushing on into Sunday, SoundCloud Sunday volume 131 is available right now. This one's actually pretty special, because the Music Mondays staff curators are back. So this is a relatively stacked SoundCloud Sunday with a lot of talented individuals and a really good variety as well. So definitely go check that out. Volume 131 is available right now. That was curated by me, Avanko, and the homie Waterfalls, 2 Music Monday staff curators. And I did the art this week, but I think 63 will be back on art for SoundCloud Sunday this week for 132. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. And of course, submissions open every single Wednesday. So per usual, if you're interested in dropping a track for SoundCloud Sunday, make sure you follow us on socials. Stay up to date when SoundCloud Sunday submissions do go live. So that was Sunday. That takes us into today, Monday, April 22nd, 2024. And like I said, we're live here with the Music Mondays podcast, my friends. So, weekly recap stuff checked off. What's coming up on Music Mondays? What's going down? Spring preview. A couple other small things before we get into some reactions and reviews. So, 2 things that we usually always got to go over. Music Mondays is recruiting. So again, if you are looking for a Music Monday staff role, if you're interested in joining the Music Monday staff team, we are on the hunt for writers, journalists, designers, curators, media personalities, anybody that wants to do short form or long form content for Music Mondays. Definitely let us know. Send us an email, send us a message. We actually have a brand new role breakdown video on our YouTube channel right now, where I personally break down all the Music Monday staff roles, content you'll be doing, what you're expected, things like that. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And per usual, like I said, Music Mondays is recruiting. So outside of that, Music Mondays is on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives as well. If you're interested in getting an unreleased exclusive track posted on the Music Monday SoundCloud and promoted for free across all of our socials, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us an email, send us a DM. We are interested in exclusive unreleased tracks. So again, after that, feel free to do whatever you want with the track. If you want to put it on all platforms, great. If you want to just keep it with us, that's great too. But we're only interested in the unreleased SoundCloud version. And of course, the same goes for our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in getting a music video, a visual, a lyric video, a audio hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel of almost 270 subscribers, again, send us a message. Let us know, because we'd love to have you over there on the channel as well, to be hosted and promoted for free across all of our socials. Let's fucking get it. So, recruiting, exclusives, those 2 things out the way. Per usual, always got to talk about those. So I think one thing I really want to break down for the channel and for anybody that misses the show as well. Let's talk about Music Mondays and what's coming up over the course of the next couple of months. So, I think over the last couple of weeks, you guys heard me talk about our next album. For those of you that weren't around, in 2022, Music Mondays actually curated and dropped our very first album, Curing Cases of the Mondays. So essentially what that is a album of SoundCloud exclusives that are of course unreleased, and we gather from artists to put together in a sort of compilation album just to really show some people some love essentially, and really get a bunch of exclusives in one spot in a full body of work, right? So that's been something that we've been really working on for the last couple of weeks when it comes down to cover art designs, how we're going to work submissions this year. Um, because originally when we did our first album and we curated for that, I think we did like 10 tracks across like 6 or 7 artists. But we didn't even have half the following that we have now. So I do anticipate the album to be a bit bigger than it was the last time. So we really want to make sure we iron out the fine details when it comes to something like that. So going into the end of April and May, you'll see some announcements go up with that once art and a couple of guideline details are finalized. So that'll be something that is really, really cool, and I'm excited to actually get off the ground. But again, I'm working with the staff to make sure we get them involved, and we kind of have it be like a team collective idea, right? So very important, very, very important. But our second album is in the works, and you guys will see a lot of announcements go live on our socials over the course of the next couple of weeks when it comes to the end of April, early May-ish area. So that's like the first major spring kind of content piece that we have in the back burner right now. Second thing, Music Mondays merch. You're going to see a relatively decent announcement go live for the rest of our merch, just to really remind everybody that we do have a couple pieces left still in stock. So again, you'll see a new trailer and a new content piece go live for the rest of our merch and things like that. So that'll be like the second major thing that we focus on when it comes to spring and what we're going to bring you guys. So those two things. Obviously the second one not being that major because we did a lot of merch promo. But our second album is in the works, Curing Cases of the Mondays Volume 2. And you'll see some more merch promo go up. Just remind everybody that we do have those still in stock. And the final thing for spring, so again, that'll be like over the course of like the last couple of weeks of April, heading into like early May-ish. So after May, our kind of roadmap is working on Cyberfest 2, which again, if you weren't around towards the end of 2022, maybe like the beginning of 2023, we had our very first online URL festival. When it came down to how that went, it went absolutely fantastic, to be completely honest with you. It was one of those things where the bumps in the road that we encountered weren't that big of a deal. So our first show went relatively well. That is also completely archived on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go watch some sets, kind of understand how that's ran, things like that, definitely go check out Cyberfest 2022. But Cyberfest 2, actually, our second event, will be kind of in the June-ish, July-ish area. So again, expect some later details on that. Late spring, heading into summer, and really start hammering down on that. So those like 3 things are super, super important for us, and really what we're hyper focusing on when it comes down to like the bigger background events of Music Mondays. But we have a lot of smaller collabs, YouTube videos, content pieces, written pieces, things like that that are also obviously going to continue flowing out, right? When it comes down to the bigger things, I like to break those down in detail, but you can always expect our monthly and weekly content to stay the same, right? So when it comes to YouTube videos, new interviews, articles, written pieces, playlists, things like that, you'll see a lot of that stuff obviously continue. None of that's changing, but I just kind of wanted to break down a little bit more of the larger events when it comes down to what Music Mondays has going on in the background. One thing I kind of want to touch on a little bit, mostly because it's been something that a few people have asked for, but we're also kind of slowly working on as well, is our Spotify playlist. So in addition to SoundCloud Sunday, we wanted to dive into things with Spotify as well, just to give people like a safe, like consistent home to actually like have refreshed underground music every single week. So that's been something that we've been talking with the team about and how that's really going to go down, because that's a little bit different than SoundCloud. So again, you'll see some details come out about that when we sort of iron some more things out. But a lot of that stuff is very, very, very important. So that's kind of like the big spring 2024 breakdown. First thing, Curing Cases of the Mondays, our second album. That's gonna be something that we just super hyper focus on, and I really want to get out to you guys like ASAP Rocky. Music Mondays merch, again, you'll see us break down that in some greater detail as well over the course of the next couple weeks. And then, of course, we have Cyberfest 2 as well. So once all those details kind of come to fruition, you'll see a lot of that stuff go live on socials. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go like the video, drop a comment, let us know what you think we should do next, what events you're excited for, and all that good jazz. And of course, make sure you follow us on socials at All Music Mondays to stay up to date with what we have going on here at Music Mondays. Let's fucking get it, baby. Alrighty, chat. That was a W breakdown. Very important, right? Like, that was definitely one thing where I really just wanted to kind of dive into that, because I've been talking about that over the course of the last like couple of weeks. But just to have it up on the channel will give people a little bit more of a preview, and we can show people what's been going down here on the show. So super cool, super simple. But you guys know what time it is. Let's get into it. Let's dive in. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. Let's go. Let's talk submissions. Let's see what we got. So, here we go. Let's get into it. For those of you that are new here and don't know, submissions are in the same format every single week. They'll always read artists and creatives. Submissions are open for live reviews of music Mondays, live on April 24th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/songplays, which is here and now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show, from YouTube edits to instrumentals to covers to photography to videography to merch to fashion, music videos, you name it, we've literally reacted to it. So feel free to drop any type of submission, right? And of course, the logic behind that's really simple, because many of us know that a lot of underground artists are multi-talented, right? So a lot of people are just super good at many things, right? A lot of engineers do vocals, a lot of producers do art, a lot of artists do vocals. You know what I mean? So they all kind of intertwine, and they all kind of are very related as well. So that's one thing that we always make sure we focused on. And of course, for our show limit, that's of course just to make sure that we make the show a little bit palatable to watch back, right? You could always argue that the show is still a little bit longer at 4 hours, but that's not as long as they used to be, right? The 6, 7, 8 hour mark. For some of the early Music Mondays episodes was pretty crazy. But the 4 hour show limit, just to make sure that we put a little bit of emphasis on quality, and just to make sure it's a little bit easier to watch back. And we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch. So we like to make sure that we put a little bit less pressure on everything, right? 4 hour show limit. And of course, you must be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Not only does it help spread our message and grow our platform, but it pays respect to everybody else that does follow Music Mondays and does wait for their submissions to be reacted to every single week. And of course, you gain access to a wonderful network of creatives and a really, really supportive community. So again, kind of a win-win, right? But that's the only thing that we do ask before you submit to the show. And of course, Patreon subscribers, submissions are played first every single week. So of course, if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, whether that be the basic, advanced, or premium, you gain access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass, in addition to a bunch of other goodies as well. But when it comes to Patreon submissions, you'll have your submissions played first every single week for the duration that you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon. So again, if you're subscribed through, let's say April, every single week that you submit to the show, you'll have your submissions played first every single week, because you have the Music Mondays Fast Pass. But of course, there's not only that, there's a bunch of other goodies over there on Patreon. Make sure you go check that out and go show that some love. And huge shout out to all of our current patrons as well. You guys are fucking amazing. Ryuki, Mark, Blank Thought, Ruker, Jordan. You guys are awesome. So outside of that, I think the last detail that we need to discuss is submissions close about a couple hours before the show starts, just to make sure we get a head count and make sure the orders kind of stay the same. And we kind of get a rough idea of what the show looks like, right? So keep in mind, you do have about 6 days to submit for the show. I'd say even like 6.5. So that's plenty of time to get your tracks in. But again, a rough A rough estimate would be if the show is live, submissions are most likely closed. So again, make sure you get your tracks in before the show goes live. Outside of that, I think those are all the fine details for the Music Mondays podcast. But again, we do have a YouTube upload live right now where I kind of break down the finer details of the show, why we collect submissions on Twitter, things like that. A whole lot of other details that you might want to know about when it comes to the show. So definitely go check that out. But I think that's about it, man. I think that's about it. We are ready to go. Let me just go down this week's submissions and see if we have any Patreons. I don't believe we do. Okay, we do not. All right, so no Patrons this week. But of course, much love to all of our Patrons. You're fucking amazing. But up first, we have a actually first time submitting artist, which is very interesting. The homie Sam's Raps, writer, rapper. So much depends on the Red Wheelbarrow. Nailed it. Okay. Sam's Raps. All right, first time submitting artist going in blind, and they submitted The Pizza Man Cometh, rough mix. And it's on SoundCloud. All right, let's get it. I am down. All right, first time submitting artist, Sam's The Pizza Man Cometh. Let's go.
Unfair to the payor, but not to the payee. But you're gonna pay it, or else.
Or else what?
Tell him, Vinny.
Or else pizza is gonna send out for you.
So, scoped to the storefront. Walked in, saw the manager, said, "What's up?" He's like, "This is Pizza Hut. What you want?" Pizza with deluxe. I could have told him run, but I wanna wear his skull. I'm never gonna stop. Tie him up with a garlic knot. Find the nearest knife.
What the fuck?
And make a really long slice. Shred mozzarella, fill up his gut. Now he has stuffed crust. Start the oven roast, make the long walk home.
Huh. Okay.
Unfair to the payor.
Quick and straight to the point, I see. All right. Let's break this down. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we got here, chat. This is a very interesting way to kick off the show. I am down. Okay, so we're gonna talk about three things here. We are gonna talk about the instrumental, we are gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. For what it is, it's great, to be honest with you. Mix is solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that kind of stuck out to be like obnoxious or annoying or anything like that. Everything was super level. Nothing that was like a bit off to me at all. Drums were good. Sound selection was solid. Yeah, no gripes with the instrumental mix. Definitely not. Instrumental Shining Star. Drums gave it a lot of like really good rhythm. But I do kind of like the sample a lot. I feel like the sample kind of like set the stage to be able to like make this idea a little bit more like reasonable, right? Because if you just like kicked off a song about pizza, it'd be a little bit more harder to swallow. But because there's a sample at the start like that, I feel like you kind of knew what you were in for. So I feel like the sample is kind of like an underrated part of this instrumental. But I do want to say drums. Drums are definitely up there. For me, probably a sample just because it's unique and it kind of like sets the stage for the rest of the track. But drums are definitely a close second. Melody's up there too, but definitely a sample. The instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, kind of an interesting, rough, gritty mix, but I don't think it's bad. To be honest with you, I think it's very heavy and grim, but I think their voice kind of really works well with it. I didn't have any personal issues with it, to be honest with you, as like a first time listener. It didn't like throw me off too much at all. Just because I felt like they worked well with it. So what it is for all the post processing, I like it. It's not bad. You know what I mean? Everything's nice and level. Vocals definitely sit nice. Drums cut through nicely. Nothing was really like clashing to throw it off either. So I think it kind of worked out, to be honest with you. So with this being a rough mix, quote unquote, still solid. So vocals in my book definitely W. I like the style. It kind of works well, right? It's very dark and just It's very gritty. Keep wanting to go back to the word gritty. Um, hmm. Vocal Shining Star. So I mean, look, the writing is is good for what it is, especially for it like being a song about pizza, right? Like simple enough. But I think deeper than that, I think the flow and cadence and delivery was really solid with this. It made it again more palatable and tangible to listen to. I think the flow and cadence really kept it like hip hop like, but even though like the substance of it was very simple. So for me, flow and cadence and delivery definitely. Um so instrumental solid, definitely a sample. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. This is a very interesting cover, man. This is a very interesting cover. I don't know if this is AI or not, but either way, like you definitely get the theme well enough for sure. Um Solid, to be honest with you, like grim but solid. Like it matches the vocals, but it still has that like pizza shop kind of vibe. So aesthetics definitely on point. I like the direction, 100%. Um, Overall theme. I mean, the Pizza Man cometh, right? We spoke a little bit about this last week with the track where some artists can kind of take like a simple subject, um, when it comes down to like something just so easy or just like something relatively simple and just like dive into it and actually write a song about it. So I really think it speaks volumes more so on like the songwriting ability and like an artist's skill and ability to literally like write a song about anything, right? Whether it's pizza or it's the mall or it's fucking the gym, like you can take any subject, but it really just depends on like how you break it down, right? But I do think that Sam's definitely had a very interesting time breaking this down, and I think they did well, to be honest with you. Simple theme, but they did well kind of expanding on it, so well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Sam's. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are one follower away from 60. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are one follower away from 680. So go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 270 subscribers on the main channel. I think we're about like 6 or 7 away, man. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. We go show these artists and the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Let's go. Interesting way to kick off the show, but unique tracks like that are always cool, man. So, always a fan. So, up next, we got the homie, Johnny Smoke. Now, they were a first-time submitting artist last week. So, a very interesting hip-hop vocalist submitted, let's see, Milestone. Okay. So, let's see what the homie Johnny Smoke's been up to, man. Alright, so we got a bunch of choices here. Let's pick the Cloud. Alright. So, this is 4 months ago. Okay. So not exactly old, but not exactly brand new. So I'm down. Let's get into it. Johnny Smoke, Milestone. Let's go.
Baby, I wish that I'll find my sunset in your eyes. I hope that you don't mind, and I hope that tomorrow will treat me so kind. Baby, I've got love for you, and I hope I'm within my rights when I say there's nothing quite like it. When you give me that smile, when you give me that ride, when you give me that time, when you're getting me high on that lovin', high on that kush. You know this world is looking so good, so fine, so sharp. Don't go stick a knife in my heart. Just looking for a little milestone, just to get a little wild, hoping to go on a trip and never find my way home. Maybe someday but there's a long way to go. So much necessary suffering, and I live to send it down on you. Ow, 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 doggy. A beautiful horizon, I'm looking at that sun as it's starting to rise, and it's just about time for me to start moving on and getting on and setting off, and ooh, doggy, ooh, doggy, ooh, doggy. Baby, I wish and I wish that I'll find my sunset in your eyes. I hope that you don't mind, and I hope that tomorrow will treat me so kind. Baby, I've got love for you, and I hope I'm within my rights when I say there's nothing quite like it. When you give me that smile, when you give me that ride, when you give me that time, when you're getting me high. High on that lovin', high on that kush. You know this world is looking so good, so fine, so sharp. Too legit to quit, trying to hit a lick. A motherfucking win. Yeah, that Dubsky, tasting so sweet. Who is this kid? Well, I hope he's doing alright. Ow, ow. Ow, doggy. I'm looking at that sun as it's starting to rise, and it's just about time for me to start moving on and getting on and setting off, and ooh, doggy, ooh, doggy, ooh, doggy. Just looking for a little milestone, just to get a little wild, you know. Hoping to go on a trip and never find my way home. Maybe someday, but there's a long way to go. So much necessary suffering, and I live to send it down on you. Ow, 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 doggy. A beautiful horizon, I'm looking at that sun as it's starting to rise, and it's just about time for me to start moving on and getting on and setting off, and ooh, doggy, ooh, doggy, ooh, doggy.
All right. So, much to talk about here. See, I like the direction. Like the idea is there. The idea is there, much like the last track for sure. But a couple things to break down, a couple things to talk about. Let's get into it. So, we're talking about three things. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of the track. So, all right. So, it's very clear to me that Johnny has a solid instrumental taste, for sure. Like, they pick these, like, wonderful, like, alt-rock, like, slow, classic alt-rock style of instrumentals. Like they're very unique. So, their flavor of instrumentals is solid. Really, really solid. So let's talk mix. With that said, just the instrumental mix alone, very solid. Like, you can just tell that by the drums, especially the 808s. Like, everything is really great on this mix. When it comes to the instrumental, for sure. Nothing clashing to overbearing. The vocals still sit nice on it. Drums knock pretty hard. Everything's super level. Like, really nothing to really gripe about, to be honest. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. I'm kind of torn between the melody and the drums. I definitely think the drums are up there though. The drums just bring so much passion, but so does the melody. So I don't know. Structure's kind of really up there too. Really drums, to be honest with you. Like, drums are so rememberable on this, and when it comes to like the real, like, more passionate parts about this instrumental, I feel like the drums kind of bring that for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocals. All right, vocal mix. So, like I said, the vision is there. Like you could clearly see what Johnny's going for, right? But something is throwing the mix off, whether it's the key of the instrumental, the key of the vocals, the key of the autotune. Something is throwing this off. It could even be the BPM, right? Like I'm not in the project file, so I couldn't exactly tell you. But there is something that like it's so close. Like I'm not sure who's engineering their tracks, but I would ask your engineer. I'll just ask your engineer, or if you're engineering it yourself, kind of go back to the lab and watch some tutorials on keys and like proper mixing, because like I said, the vision is there. Like the vision is very much there. It's just all about pushing the mix now, right? Because you have your lyrics very well written, you have your style, you have your flow, you have your cadence. So it's just something about the sound itself kind of throws the track off. So once you get that down, I feel like that's gonna like really send you in the right direction for sure. So we'll really, once you go back to the lab with that, I think you'll be super solid in that direction. But like I said, outside of that, like the mix itself is solid, right? Like sits well in the instrumental, drums cut through nicely. No real gripes with it, other than the fact that like it throws something off in the ear, you know. So like I said, once you go back and kind of like brush up on that, that'll be super solid, super fucking solid. Um, so vocal mix definitely right. For what it is, vocal shining star. Now, the writing has always been super solid for Johnny. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you, like their writing has always been super solid. But I think I'm gonna go with writing here, just because they had such a story to tell, and like you could tell they really like thought this one out. You know what I mean? Like this definitely wasn't like a punch in, punch out kind of freestyle track at all. This is very well constructed. So for me, definitely writing for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. So yeah, this was the same cover that I had spoke about last week, with them kind of um using the same cover for multiple tracks, right? Which I don't think is like ultimately like a super bad thing, but it does kind of like give the track a little bit less personality, right? But again, for what it is, it definitely matches Johnny's style for sure. So aesthetics, kind of right where they need to be, right? Um Overall theme of Milestone. So again, this is definitely like a story-driven, passionate track, right? There's some bouncing around here, but ultimately, like it does have that like manifesto, almost life story kind of feel, but also it kind of like leaves the door open for the future. So this very much is a very honest track, but it's also kind of leaning towards like what's going to happen in the future kind of thing, right? So either way, it's a very personal track, but I do think that this is like one of those tracks, like if the right person hears it, they're going to relate to it like a lot. And it's just one of those ones that really helps the mental as an artist, so you can get a lot of like personal shit out and off your chest, right? This is definitely that, absolutely. But with that said, huge shout out to Johnny. Thank you so much for your submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are approaching 1,020 followers. Go show them some love over there. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They're approaching 1.4K on the Bird app. So go show them some love over there on Twitter. And of course, everybody's featured in today's episode, and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 270 subscribers. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. And if you already have, thank you, my friends. Much love. Let's get it. So, let's do this, my friends. All right. So we left off with the homie Johnny. Up next is the Single Digits. Let's go. Now, this is a very talented alternative vocalist, and they submitted Beers with the Boys. New single from upcoming album. My fault. Wasn't sure which one to reply to. No worries, my friend. No worries. Yeah, once you see this tweet right here, yeah, you're good. Just drop it under this one, and you're all set. But the Single Digits. Beers with the Boys. Let's go. I'm down. Got a little YouTube link here. All right. Hold on here. Let's bump up the quality. Let's bump up the sound. Let's go a little full screen. All right. Single Digits. Beers with the Boys. Let's go. From the album. Cheers.
When the day is long, the stress is more than heavy, and all you want is a tall boy sitting in the sand. Don't worry, there's a group that's locked and ready to throw back some shots on demand. And we sing from the bottle of this rum, and we sing until the whiskey's all gone. It's pretty clear we're just cheersing with the boys.
No shot.
Singing all night with the boys.
Okay.
Do you need another round of something stronger? Grab your boys, cause I know exactly where to go. Where the drinks are cold and get this just $2. Bottoms up, boys, they're ready for a show. And we sing from the bottle of this rum, and we sing until the whiskey's all gone. It's pretty clear we're just cheersing with the boys, singing all night with the boys. And we sing from the bottle of this rum, and we sing until the whiskey's all gone. It's pretty clear we're just cheersing with the boys, singing all night with the boys, singing all night with the boys.
Wow. No shot, right? What the fuck? Wow. Okay. Okay. Single digits coming fucking hard this week, I see. Fuck me. Jay, what's good? Hope you're well. What's cracking? Welcome on in. Happy Monday. That was fantastic. That was absolutely fantastic. All right. Let's break this down. Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about three things here. So, we're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. We'll talk about the theme. We'll talk about the lyric visual, just because I think they do go hand in hand. I don't think it's like that far off. But regardless, let's talk about the instrumental. A very live instrument based instrumental, obviously. So, yeah, gonna be one of those that's very tough on the mixing side of things, right? Like, you can either have like a really easy time mixing these, or you can really have like a super fucking hard time mixing these. But this one sounds fantastic, and you know, that's not really a shocker from the single digits, I can't lie. Like, a good 90% of the tracks that they do submit are fantastic. So that's not really a shocker, but for those of you that are new here, definitely a fantastic mix. Sure, always got to point it out. Instrumental solid. Instrumental shining star. Man, this is just fantastic all around. It really could even hold its own weight as an instrumental track just on its own, man. Like, just has that high energy, like early 2000s kind of feel to it, especially when we're gonna talk about the vocals. But as far as just the instrumental goes, it's got to be the drums, man. The drums keep up that high energy. Like, I think the melodies are great too, but the drums just have this, just this passion to them, right? So I'm gonna go with the drums, but really the whole instrumental is fantastic. But definitely the drums if I had to pick. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. I mean, come on, man. Like, the vocal mix is fantastic. Again, much like the instrumental, the single digits always has a really solid vocal mix. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Nothing that like really sticks out as like off or anything, because they have such a solid natural voice, right? So a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of post processing, and you really come up with like such a crisp sounding vocal to accompany like a solid instrumental like this. So Definitely no gripes with the vocals at all. Like at all, especially for this like sound, right? Um so vocal shining star. Now, there's a lot I like about this, for sure. Flow and cadence, writing, the hook, like there's a lot we could really kind of focus on here. But um it's got to be the hook. Like ultimately I think the hook is what's going to make people return to this track. It's catchy, it's fun, good vibes. It's not like too lighthearted, right? It still has that like hardcore like makes you want to party but still not too hard kind of thing, right? It kind of hits that middle sweet spot, as to where like this could be like in an early 2000s like family movie, but also could be like in like a fucking hangover type movie too. Like it's kind of like teetering on both. So um very interesting. Very, very interesting. But it's got to be the hook. It's got to be the hook. Totally just has the ability to get like super stuck in your head. So instrumental solid. Definitely the drums. Vocal solid. Definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, lyric, visual. Dive in. Obviously the lyric visual is fantastic, right? Like I think everything about this is fucking on point, right? Super simple, super easy to get behind, and like something really fun to watch while you're experiencing this song for the first time, which is always why I encourage artists to like push tracks a little bit further when it comes to like supporting content, right? Like when you put out a single or da 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 da. These types of things are super easy to put together, but really like further the track in such a long way, man. Like such a fucking long way. So visual is definitely on point. Again, simple, but really like hits home when it comes down to a track like this. Super fun. But I think the theme is what's really awesome about this is because it's such a lighthearted, fun summer, pre-summer kind of track, right? Like especially like for those of you that do go out with your friends, right? Or you do spend time with your friends away from the family, away from your partner, whatever, right? Like, Saturdays are for the boys kind of vibe. Like it totally like gives that feel to it. And I think this is one of those songs that is not only like really amazing to have in a library, but super fun to put together with your friends and like really like put some muscle behind and really just show that you can make a track like this. Because like the first thing that like kind of like I got sparked with the feeling was just like those early 2000s kind of like um just it just gave me early 2000s vibes like no other track has in quite some time. But it didn't sound like dated or anything like that. It sounded very modern, but it had that energy to it, right? It had that real solid energy to it. So I think the way that this was put together was fantastic, and I think you guys did a really solid job for sure. So with that said, make sure you go subscribe to the Single Digits. We're gonna drop them a sub on the Music Mondays channel. They are now 8 subs away from 50, so go show them some love over there on the channel. And of course, huge shout out to the Single Digits for the submission. And make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are approaching 450 followers. They are 5 away. So go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. And of course, if you already have, thank you, my friends. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's fucking get it. So, continuing on, that was a crazy ass track, man. That was a crazy ass track. I won't lie to you, Chief. I will not lie to you. So, we left off with the homies at Single Digits. Up next is the homie Braden. It's been like a week or so since we heard from Braden. But they've been killing it as far as singles, projects, collabs, a whole lot of good stuff from Braden, man. But a very talented alternative vocalist submitted season. 2 songs before I start dropping singles for the album. Let's fucking get it. All right, pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. This track was not found. Maybe it has been removed. Shit. Alright, let's go on Braden's SoundCloud and see if it's there. Maybe the link's just broken. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the link was definitely just broken. Okay, cool. We got it. We got it. That usually never happens. Usually, sometimes the track is actually fucking gone. But, let's get into it. Braden, Season, let's go. Now, that's a really crazy track. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's really crazy. Just because it has this like what's the word? You can tell Braden has been like in the lab really like working on a bunch of shit. Like they've been practicing their flows, they've been like perfecting it. You can tell that they've been sharpening the sword, you know? So awesome. Let's break it down, let's get into it, let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of season. So let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix. Solid. Has like this really early like 2018 almost plug-ish type feel to it as well. Like I like the choice either way too. It takes me back to like classic underground shit for sure. 100%. Almost cloud trap it's pushing a couple sounds for sure. But instrumental mix solid, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Everything's super even. Nothing that really like threw me off at all. Braden's vocals really sat nice on this. I felt like they really shined on an instrumental like this. I feel like they didn't really need to like push a lot of boundaries, and really push like a lot of like fucking. They didn't really have to do too much, right? Like I just felt like it was very snug. Sometimes for those of you that do know, like sometimes vocals just sit nice on certain shit, and you're just like, oh, that bangs. You know what I mean? So this is definitely one of those for sure. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. 100% the melody. Got to be the melody. Drums were really supportive, and I like the sound selection. But the melody was something that definitely brought this like ethereal, eerie kind of aura to it, but still like fast paced as well. So definitely the melody. Instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix definitely fantastic. This is one of the better Braden mixes that I've heard on an instrumental like this. Not that it varies too much to like their normal mix, but for what this is right here, again, I just like how crisp it sounds. You know, nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing like really like super post processy, not like trying to do too much. And plus they just sit really nice in the instrumental. So, for me, definitely no gripes on the vocal mix at all. Nope. Vocal shining star. There's a lot I like about this, man. I like the hook. The writing overall is really great. But I think the flow and cadence is what really like subconsciously is really gonna stick with you, especially on like the first listen. You're like, oh, this is like you're fucking just gliding on this. You know what I mean? So for me, flow, cadence, and delivery kind of topped. But I I do think writing is probably second. But flow and cadence and delivery really like put it over for me for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely melody. Vocal solid, the flow and cadence and delivery is definitely up there. And let's talk theme. Aesthetics, definitely going with the blue vibes again, and I like this a lot. Taking the IRL direction, which always safe route, easy route, kind of makes the tracks personal, but also throw some small edits on there, man, and you can just end up with something like really really solid like this. And it's simple, you know what I mean? So solid direction, 100%. Always been a fan of those. Um, Overall theme. So again, kind of like a simple theme, but also like a really great way to show off their writing. Like at the end of the day, Braden is a lyricist. Like they do really well writing about multiple different tracks, right? Like I definitely think that they can do really, really well with like a lot of shit. Whether it be some kind of like alternative tracks, whether it be some kind of like, they really just have like a very versatile kind of style. A very, very versatile kind of style. So I feel like that shows here, but also there's a little bit more substance than usual just because I do feel like Braden was getting a little bit off their chest when it comes down to really explaining like where they're at right now in their life or kind of like where they're feeling like that day. Like there's a sense of like get this off my chest kind of thing, especially like in the hook and you know they kind of have like their typical throwing shots, but they're also just kind of throwing shots at life too. You know what I mean? But I do think that this was ultimately a really great showcase of writing and lyrical skill, for sure. So well done, my friend. Well done. Make sure you go follow Braden on SoundCloud. They're one follower away from 310. Thank you so much for your submission, my friend. Make sure you go follow them on Twitter as well, man. They're 10 followers away from 70. Go get them to fucking 70 on Twitter, man. God damn it. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazzes over there, man. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, maybe. Let's get it. So, let's go. All right. We continued off with the homie Braden. Up next is the homie Lil Derek. A very, very talented hip-hop vocalist submitted Cody Rhodes' Weight Belt, Lil Derek, and Skip the Kid. Check out my latest music video. Shit, we are down. It's been like a couple weeks since we heard from the homie Lil Derek, man. So I'm definitely excited to see what they've been up to. But let's see what we got here. So we'll crank up the quality. Let's get full sound. Check out the comments. Lots of love in the comments. All love in the comments. The creds. Listen to Cody Rhodes' Weight Belt and the rest of my latest album, Mean Gene, The People's Champ 2, on all streaming platforms. Tyler Johnson, Anthony Willow, and MMWA Pro Wrestling. Cody Rhodes, Indie Wrestling. Let's fucking get it. All right, I'm down. Lil Derek and Skip the Kid, Cody Rhodes' Weight Belt. Let's go.
The story is about all of you who have followed me to the absolute end.
These American nightmares been weighing me down. Cross the roads to finish my story, no waiting around. Take the sledgehammer, look at the throne, I'm breaking it down. Real degenerates, I'm taking the crown. Underground kings like me on the indie scene. STL connection, me and Skip the perfect team.
Damn.
Warriors taking shit to the extreme. Wolf pack for life, red and black, everything. You think you know me, I've been living on the edge. But on this day, I see clearly how I was misled. To put a timeline on all the dreams inside my head. Cause if you stop dreaming, it's like you already dead.
Cause you keep forgetting you haven't been in the ring in years in real-time action. In April 6th, the bell is gonna ring. And what happens when the bell rings, right?
Piece in the puzzle of life together.
Video's
So
fire.
hopefully my
So
kids
fire.
just might do better. I'm a family guy, man, that's how Peter felt. I built my kingdom, and now I need a belt. Yeah, I need a plaque. Yeah, I need the racks. Give you a 3-minute warning, and then we attack. Rosy hats to match your blood on the mat. Remember, I was broke, used to have the plug front to back. Now I got the club jumping from the front to the back. Crazy how your life can change when you focus on your craft. Don't give a fuck about the fame, we just focus on the stats. I need top dollar if you want the dragon on your track. I seen your album flop, couldn't get it over.
No
the top
way.
rope. Told my homie your feature price, I said these niggas got jokes. Invest in Lil Durk now and watch how your stocks grow. Hit you with a boom, baby, undisputed Adam Cole.
It's beyond me. But Michael, it's up to me. Roman Reigns. Last year at WrestleMania, you said we were in the third inning. I'm letting you know here and now, we are no longer in the third inning. We are in the last inning. And Michael, I'm so glad we got this moment. Because at WrestleMania 40, on night 2, you get to say for the first time in the history of this company, for the first time in the history of my family, that our Rhodes is undisputed WWE champion. You get to say at WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes finished the story.
Wow. I mean, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? This is just. There's so much to say about this. So we absolutely have to dive in right now. We just gotta talk about this, bro. I'm gonna be super biased here too, because as a wrestling fan growing up, and then like mildly in like my late teens, early 20s, huge fan of this one for sure. But let's talk about it, man. So we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the official music video, of course. So let's talk instrumental. Definitely a Lil Derek type beat. I definitely feel like they have such a lock on the type of instrumentals that they like to use, right? Like they just have a vision and they execute it so well, right? So this choice right off the rip, fantastic. But let's talk mix. Again, solid, nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that like psyched me out or really threw me off kind of paying attention to it. Lil Derek always tends to have like a really solid mix overall. So that's not really a surprise here. But again, for those of you that are new, you always want to point that out. So instrumental mix definitely up there. Instrumental Shining Star. I like the way that the sample is utilized, man. Like, Derek has so many tracks that we've reacted to here on the show that just have these samples that are so well utilized. So a lot of their producers are just super solid, and just their flavor of instrumentals is always top tier. Like, always top tier. But drums are up there for me. There's a couple things, man. I mean, really, the obvious answer for instrumental Shining Star would have to be the sample, like the obvious answer. But I do feel like drums are up there too. But the sample is just super memorable. And then like with the Cody Rhodes sample as well, like there's a lot of cool parts about this, but ultimately the main sample is definitely the Shining Star for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, this is an artist that always has a really solid mix when it comes down to pretty much every single track. I've never heard a Derek track that had like a off-putting mix. And plus they have such a solid like raw voice. So you don't really need a lot of like intricate processing that, you know, other tracks would or other styles would, right? Like they just kind of like hit the nail on the head when it comes to their style, and they're very confident in it. So their mix is always very clean, very even, very like right in the middle, you know what I mean? So vocal mix always very solid from Derek. But again, if you're new here, that's something that you always want to point out, right? So vocal mix solid. Again, right where it needs to be. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Vocal Shining Star. Gotta be writing. It's gotta be fucking writing. Like some of the bars in here, like if like there's a lot of obvious ones, right? Like the Peter Griffin one, like that's like pretty obvious. And then there's some like more intricate wrestling bars and lyrics that you'd like that would kind of go over your head if you didn't know like some like wrestling basics, right? So some like real effort went into this writing, and they've always been notorious for wrestling punchlines and bars and lyrics, but this one in particular was like really what's the word? Really on point. Like it was very like there's no way. I mean, you could come up with shit like off the top of your head, right? But there's also some lines in here that's like, damn. You know, like right off the rip, I was just like, oh shit. So for me, it's got to be writing. Definitely got to be writing for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely sample. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk music video. So of course, like I said at the start, man, me being a wrestling fan growing up, and of course, somewhat still to this day, right? Like I still follow the scene. I'm just not like an active watcher. Um, this was really cool to see because this is the first time I've ever seen somebody actually film like a full video at an indie show, right? Especially like a local indie show, and just kind of like supporting the scene while also kind of combining the two, right? Like there's very much a solid crossover here between like underground music and like indie wrestling. And like Derek just like touches on so many cool aspects that I think this video does as well. Like they definitely like kind of like had a solid vision here because like what could you possibly do outside of like a Cody Rhodes visual that would be like really cool for a song like this? And like going to like a local show and supporting your local scene while also kind of like putting together an official video for a track like this has got to be like what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like that is like an actual amazing idea for sure. Like I don't even care if I'm biased here, like it's just so well executed, you know what I mean? It's got the slight post processing, it's got like a lot of like just high quality footage, and at the end of the day, like you could just tell that Derek is very passionate about not only their obviously music and their career, but also professional wrestling. So they were able to incorporate here in a solid way. Like they didn't really have to like do anything outside of the norm, right? Like I definitely think that like it like kept it at like a cool medium. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these shots are like super fucking cool. Like a little bit of an outfit change, a lot of the paintings, like that shot in particular right there on the guardrail is super sick. Like, and then just chilling with a beer. Like, I feel like this was nothing but vibes to go film, but also put together. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't have executed like a better music video for a track like this. I really don't think you could have. And just like to be able to like shout out the indie scene and just like support that too, I think that's like a really cool aspect of this, man. So literally all of this was like just so top tier for me, and I hope more artists kind of incorporate things that they love in life into their music as well, because we all know Derek is a very talented hip hop artist in general, but they do so well incorporating wrestling into their career, right? Like you see so many rappers incorporate anime, and they incorporate um, horror, like that, like so many things that artists kind of like combine in their music. I just find that Derek is doing it so well when it comes to wrestling, man, so well. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Derek. Make sure you go sub to their channel. They are 10 subs away from 500. We're gonna go drop them a sub right now. So now they're only 9 subs away from 500. So we'll show them some love on their channel. And huge shout out to Derek for the submission. Make sure you go follow them on Twitter as well. They are approaching 3.6K on the Burnout. Let's fucking get it, baby. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. That was a crazy ass video, man. That was genuinely like really fucking well done. Not enough good things you could say about that, to be honest. But let's get it, baby. We left off with the homie Derek. Up next is the homie Broken Nomads. A very, very talented alternative producer submitted Awaken. This is an EDM song I made last year. Okay. A little bit of a throwback from Broken Nomads. I'm down. Down for a little throwback. Alright. So, looks like we already dropped the like on this. Oh, yeah, because it premiered 10 days ago. Okay, yeah. Alright, so let's get into it. 10 days ago, but it looks like they dropped a visual for it, so maybe the track's older, but the visual's kind of newer, sort of deal. But let's get into it. Chemical Shift, Broken Nomads, Awaken. What the fuck? That would be crazy as fuck. This footage is nuts. Like a water rave. The snare is fire. It's like a crash snare. That was a fucking journey and a half. Holy shit. Well done. Well done. The summer vibes are very high tonight, man. The summer vibes are very high. Lots of like late spring, early summer vibes going on here, man. Got me excited for summer. But with that said, let's break this down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about two things because obviously no vocals. We're gonna talk about the instrumental and we're gonna talk about the visual for Awaken. Let's talk instrumental. So, mix. Fantastic. Broken Nomads, Chemical Shift usually has a pretty solid mix when it comes to their production. Nothing clashing to overbearing, nothing that was like super out of place or anything like that. Especially with these types of tracks that have like a lot of sounds or a lot of like wide sounds with personality. Sometimes it can be annoying to mix, but this one in particular, super solid. But again, like I said, usually a lot of their tracks are up to par when it comes to the mix. So not really a shocker there, right? But you always want to point it out for anybody new. So instrumental mix, definitely solid. Instrumental Shining Star. So this is very much like a great single for like a DJ mix or even just a single in general, right? But I think one of the things that really kept me hooked in was the drums. The drums were super high energy, fast paced. They kept up like this solid, like just high energy. Like it definitely made you want to get up and go kind of deal. You know what I mean? Rhythm was great, sound selection was great. Yeah, it's got to be the drums of the Shining Star. Definitely the drums. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk visual. So, I love this visual, man. Again, much like a couple submissions ago, any visual is better than no visual, right? And sometimes when you have tracks like this that are a bit longer, or even just instrumentals in general, it's always a great rule of thumb as a producer to put out visuals with your instrumentals, right? Because people love throwing these on when it comes to like, you know, their house cleaning, they're going to the gym, whatever. People love these. They love these. And this one has a really like solid amount of like just stock footage, old footage, vintage footage. Like it's a really great montage and simple enough to where it's a great like supporting piece of content for this. But also, furthermore, I think it kind of pushed the narrative of like this being like a summer track and very much like a get ready for summer kind of deal. Beach, concerts, late nights, good vibes, campfires, camping, you know what I mean? Like that whole kind of thing. So it very much accompanied that. So I do feel like they had a really solid vision here. That they executed really well. Really, really well. So let's fucking get it, baby. With that said, huge shout out to Chemical Shift. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. They are 2 subs away from 100. That is a great milestone. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter as well. They are 3 followers away from 930. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. Of course, per usual, we upload 2 times a week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there, man. So make sure you subscribe and go show these artists some love. And if you already have, thank you. Much love, my friends. So, we're about halfway through the show, so you guys know what that means. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. I'm gonna need everybody to get up, go stretch their legs, go get some water, go walk the dog, maybe take a smoke break. Go do whatever you gotta do. And the Music Mondays podcast, episode 170, we'll be right back, and we'll dive into our submissions. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Mondays podcast, episode 170. I'm your host, Sam Slays. Hope you had a good break. Hope you're chilling, but it's time to get back into some community actions. Let's go. Let's get into it. So, we left off with the homies Broken Nomads. Up next, we have Dry My Eyes, who actually dropped a brand new exclusive on the Music Monday SoundCloud right now. Definitely go check that out. But a super talented alternative vocalist submitted Universal. Hope you get it. So, let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see, we got your chat. I am down. So, lyrics and descriptions. Let's fucking go. Got some love in the comments too. We love that. All right, Dry My Eyes, Universal.
Yeah. Don't give it too much thought. Ain't no giving if it wasn't what you thought. I am quite sure that I'm fly like a motherfucking UFO. Luminescent lights blur the sight, brought on move below. Not as wicked or as dastardly. Right bastard, likely to birth masterpiece. I grew faster, bump my head on that ceiling. Where were you last year? I don't know, but that's just me. A lone casket, one egg in a basket. One day I'll be broke, but for show, I'll be good, no asking. Light and magic in the words, bring the earth some passion. When I'm down in the turret, you'll be proud and shit. I'm gonna rouse sun, rise on the mountain. Skies don't lie, but the eyes know 1,000 tries. No memories, the skies. I heard of views down low, remind you of the highs. World pulls and I pull back. We are played the fools and I knew that. It's true ease, I do laugh, I do have the hood's bad of US with unbiased, no biases, you back. Sure I am impartial, you're rush, you universal. Don't hurt the research, we'll all die, that's for sure. More past contouring, we connect to road. Everybody's mess, don't stress, you are not alone. Works lessening, the brakes have turned to glass again. I'm breaking down the wall, the pavement fall beneath the bounce cement. Go experiment, I think on your predicament. A caravan, you wasn't always cold, I lived experiment. I lived the black top, drifting till the clock stop. Rockstar, find me on my flow, I be hustling. Stop shining, doesn't matter timing. You mustn't have a blind, I vibe into the right man. Lightning, you will hide behind all this light I ignited. You will have the time of your life if you ride it. I be on the climb of excitement, arriving and right on time. I'm alright, man. I'm okay. Pull the skirt right on the top of the hood. You discourage mine, I will knock on your wood. Shoot this bird high, hit this fuck, what you heard? World pulls and I pull back. We are played the fools and I do that. It's true ease, I do laugh, I do have the hood's bad of US with unbiased, no biases, you fact. Sure I am impartial, you're universal. Don't hurt the research, we'll all die, that's for sure. More past couture and we connect the road. Everybody's best, don't stress, you are not alone.
Wow. Really solid outro too. I like that outro a lot. Gives you time to think about what the fuck you just heard, right? Fantastic. That was solid, man. Much to discuss. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. So, we are gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix, solid. Really fucking solid, actually. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Melodies are great. Sound selection's great. Drums cut through nicely. Nice and even. Nothing that threw me off, to be honest with you. So I like where the instrumental is. Absolutely. Instrumental Shining Star. You know, drums are definitely up there for me. But I gotta say, the melody, man. The fucking melodies are just, yeah, it's got to be the melodies. It has this like alternative, like almost like alternative rock vibe, but not. It's blending a couple sounds and like it starts with the instrumental. So I really love the melodies on this. It's just blending a couple sounds that when you add the vocals in, it sounds so unique. So unique. So for me, it's got to be the melodies for sure. Definitely the most like memorable. Um, so instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is actually fantastic as well. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that ultimately threw me off, to be honest with you, especially with how many tracks we have reacted to from Dry My Eyes. I definitely feel like they definitely have like a good grasp on what they want their vocals to sound like on most tracks. And this is another one for the collection that definitely has like a solid up to par mix, right? Because they let their natural voice really shine, but it's still very crisp and clean. So it has this nice middle ground. Um, so vocal mix definitely solid. Vocal shining star, to me, I think flowing cadence is up there, but it's got to be writing, just because that was super fun to dissect and like kind of like pay attention to. Like this is definitely a song as to where you're gonna hear some of the lyrics and you're just gonna like think and be like, oh shit, like there's a lot of like kind of making your own meaning and a lot of like just like really imaginative yet like reality based writing here. So I feel like lyrics like can't be slept on at all. But flow and cadence and delivery is a close second, but writing's definitely up there. Um so instrumental solid, definitely the melodies, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Now this one's crazy. This one's really, really crazy. So I love these almost like collage like, but not really collage type of I guess you could really call it like abstract type of vibes. And this one definitely hits that mark, but it's not doing too much, right? Like it's not distracting, but the more you look at it, the more you kind of see, right? But it also brings that like summer vibe that everybody's kind of been nailing lately. So I like that a lot about this. Color palette's great, the edits are great, high quality. No gripes with this at all. Aesthetics definitely on point. Um, Overall theme, I definitely think that this was like, I mean, like the theme is definitely like in the hook, right? Like world pulls and I pull back. Where played the fools and I knew that. Like I definitely think that you could kind of relate like somewhat of this to the title and the universe and how a lot of things kind of play a part in just everything in life, right? A lot of stuff is interconnected, but I don't want to discredit like the actual writing and lyrics and bars and punchlines here, right? I definitely think writing in general was really fantastic, and this is definitely like a good writing showcase and a good lyrical showcase, especially for somebody that has never heard your music, or maybe they're like, "Yo, like, what do you write like?" or this sound a third. Like, I feel like this would be a great track for that, 100%. So writing definitely can't be understated here. But with that said, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Dry My Eyes. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud, man. They are quite literally 9 followers away from 70. So go show them some love over there on the cloud. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are 6 followers away from 40. So go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazzes over there, man. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your submission, my friend. Let's fucking get it. We'll love to hear that, baby. Let's go. So, up next, we left off with the homie Dry My Eyes. Up next is Offspring Mysterious. Music art, with us or against us. Now, Offspring has been killing it with their archive of music art, man. For those of you that don't know, Offspring Mysterious, a multi-talented music producer, designer, writer, editor, quite literally a master of many talents, has submitted music art with us or against us. Whose side are you on? Let's see what Offspring got for us this week, my friends. Let's see. I'm down for a little music art, man. I am definitely down. Bump up the quality, full volume, full screen. Let's get it. Offspring Mysterious, with us or against us. Oh shit. This is definitely not an Offspring track we've heard. Yeah, drums are kind of crazy on this. Okay. I see the vision. With us or against us. Okay, so looks like Offspring had a little bit of an ultimatum there. Damn, alright, so when did this drop? This is actually a year old. This is actually a year old and we have not seen it. That's really crazy. So obviously not brand new, but not super old either. Which is cool. So, we're going to talk about two things here, because obviously no vocals. We're going to talk about the instrumental, and we're going to talk about the art edit that we have here. So, instrumental. Mix. Solid. Definitely solid. Super even. A very, even, right in the middle, right where it needs to be kind of mix. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Sound selection solid. Drums sound good. Everything's nice and level, right? Which is, the main thing when it comes to, just instrumental tracks. And I think Offspring definitely hit a solid middle ground here when it comes to the mix. So again, super solid for where it's at, nice and even, super level. Instrumental Shining Star. To be honest, the melody is a really good supporting factor here, but the drums, the way that they progress and the sound selection and the patterns are great. So for me, definitely the drums, no question. Absolutely. So instrumental solid. Let's talk music art. So this is a really great story here, especially for under 3 minutes. I feel like Offspring told a lot here. But with some slight edits, couple transitions, and this is one that definitely took quite a minute fully get filmed and edited for sure. So this is one thing here where I feel a lot of the editing and the post-processing definitely has to be recognized. Just because we have 6 different outfits right here, and Offspring really went and intricately edited every single one of these. So I think they did a really good job, if I'm being totally honest with you. So for the music art, it's got to be the post-processing. Post-processing is for sure. And just the idea itself, right? I think the idea itself is always solid, but the way it's executed this time, fantastic. So with that said, a huge shout out to Offspring the Series. Thank you so much for this submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go sub to their channel. They are 3 subs away from 210, so go show them some love over there on YouTube. And of course, make sure you go subscribe to their channel, or go follow them on Twitter. They are 2 followers away from 920. So go show them some love and bird at, my friends. And of course, every art is featured in today's episode, and every single episode will be linked in the description of YouTube. Free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good jazzes over there. Go show these artists and channels some love. Let's get it, baby. So, up next, a very talented hip-hop vocalist, Mac, 2 times. I'm in a track titled Cost Me. Let's fucking get it. I'm definitely down for some Mac. They've had a solid 2024, lots of singles dropped, but this week we have Cost Me. 5 days ago, man, so super, super new. Let's get into it. Mac 2 times, Cost Me. Let's go. Let's get it.
A2 made the beat.
Why it's feeling like nobody want me. I'm still sitting here by my lonely. I've been looking for love for so damn long. At this point, I'ma just start extorting. I know I ain't to blame, so don't fault me. My heart's still kinda cold as the frosting. I'm loving these bitches way too damn hard. They keep taking advantage, it costs me. Why it's feeling like nobody want me. I'm still sitting here by my lonely. I've been looking for love for so damn long. At this point, I'ma just start extorting. I know I ain't to blame, so don't fault me. My heart's still kinda cold as the frosting. I'm loving these bitches way too damn hard. They keep taking advantage, it costs me. Keep getting my heart, but thinking it's the end of it. Keep it said, hold up, nigga, you ain't finished. At this point, no, I cannot just get rid of it. Cause even target shooting at a distance, no, this shit ain't sweet, it's the bitter end. Couldn't do no more with all the bickering. I'm steady asking when we gon' start fighting. This team like the bell just ain't give a damn. Keep getting my heart, but thinking it's the end of it. Keep it said, hold up, nigga, you ain't finished. At this point, no, I cannot just get rid of it. Cause even target shooting at a distance, no, this shit ain't sweet, it's the bitter end. Couldn't do no more with all the bickering. I'm steady asking when we gon' start fighting. This team like the bell just ain't give a damn. Why it's feeling like nobody want me. I'm still sitting here by my lonely. I've been looking for love for so damn long. At this point, I'ma just start extorting. I know I ain't to blame, so don't fault me. My heart's still kinda cold as the frosting. I'm loving these bitches way too damn hard. They keep taking advantage, it costs me. Why it's feeling like nobody want me. I'm still sitting here by my lonely. I've been looking for love for so damn long. At this point, I'ma just start extorting. I know I ain't to blame, so don't fault me. My heart's still kinda cold as the frosting. I'm loving these bitches way too damn hard. They keep taking advantage, it costs me. So tell me what we gon' do to fix this problem we got. Oh wait, that's right, little bitch, you left me for a sec, I had forgot. I was loving you so hard, I'm wishing now that you told me to stop. But you wanted the best of both us just to hurt me a lot. Yeah, it was just fucking these bitches, then forget to exist. What I'm finna do, what I'm finna start playing yard. Because I'm tired of feeling like I was the fool. Thinking not with my heart but my brain. Cause I know I got a clue. Cause I ain't trusting no bitch's word. I know y'all do not speak the truth. I know y'all do not feeling like nobody want me. I'm still sitting here by my lonely. I've been looking for love for so damn long. At this point, I'ma just start extorting. I know I ain't to blame, so don't fault me. My heart's still kinda cold as the frosting. I'm loving these bitches way too damn hard. They keep taking advantage, it costs me. Why it's feeling like nobody want me. I'm still sitting here by my lonely. I've been looking for love for so damn long. At this point, I'ma just start extorting. I know I ain't to blame, so don't fault me. My heart's still kinda cold as the frosting. I'm loving these bitches way too damn hard. They keep taking advantage, it costs me.
Let's fucking get it, Mac. Fire. Absolutely fire. Love the instrumental choice as well, man. Solid instrumental. Okay, couple things to talk about here, a couple things to break down. Let's get into it, chat. We're gonna talk about 3 things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. Like I said, solid choice, man. I like this choice for Mac a lot. For sure, I like it a lot. Instrumental mix. Definitely solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing that, like, off at all. Sound selection solid. Drum selection solid. Nothing really that really kind of, like, I have any gripes with. Again, this is another artist that always has, like, a really solid instrumental mix and just a really solid mix in general. So definitely no gripes here when it comes to instrumental. Instrumental shining star. Melody's definitely up there for sure, but I think I'm gonna have to go drums. From the patterns to the sound selection to pretty much everything about the drums, I think are really, really solid and kind of bring that raw emotion that a track like this really needs. So for me, drums, absolutely. Okay, so instrumental solid, vocals, vocal mix. Really solid. I feel like this one sounds like it has a little bit of extra reverb on it. It might just be the track itself, right? Like sometimes tracks can just like give off weird mixes, but this one definitely seems like it has like a lot of reverb on it, which I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think it does anything to the track that's like ultimately detrimental, but just something I noticed for sure. But again, nothing clashing to overbearing. Drums definitely cut through nicely. Everything's all around really solid. Everything's nice in the middle. Super level. Nothing when it comes to the vocals that really stuck out to me that was a bit off. So definitely on point. Vocal shining star, man. You know, I was gonna say writing because I was kind of torn between writing and flow, cadence, and delivery. But for me, it's gotta be flow, cadence, and delivery. Just because the flow made you pay attention to the writing that much more, and Mac was really good. Like they were really like giving their best in this, but also kind of like treating it loose. Like it wasn't like uptight at all. So I do feel like the flow and cadence like was pretty special on this. But writing's always like a close second when it comes to like these tracks by Mac, right? Because they're always from the heart. But um, flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely drums, vocal solid, flow and cadence, and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Fantastic. Fantastic. Mac 2 times like cover art, right? It definitely has that like Mac 2 times aesthetic as to where it like sometimes the quality of their covers just has this like specific feel to it that I think this one just absolutely fucking nailed. So it kind of reminds me of like the older Mac 2 times covers, which I really like. But this one's perfect for the track, especially like single, perfect like single cover art, parental advisory, bottom right, cross me in the middle, definitely solid. And I like the color palette, but aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, a very personal track from Mac 2 times, right? But I definitely think it's like an honest track, right? Like some people just are using their art as like a crutch to really go through things in life healthily. And Mac really uses that to their advantage, which I think every artist really should, right? Like if you're trying to get some thoughts out or you're going through it or you're aggravated or, you know, this is bullshit, that's bullshit. Like you can use songwriting and even instrumentals and just music and art and photos and everything to really get through like the hardest parts of life. And I think Mac was really just voicing how they feel when it comes to their everyday journey. This one. So this one's definitely going to hit home for certain people. And if it doesn't, it's going to be one of those tracks that you definitely enjoy for the finer parts, right? Flow, cadence, the writings. Well done, my friend. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Mac 2 times. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend, and much, much love. Make sure you go follow Mac on SoundCloud. They're 8 followers away from 30. And of course, make sure you go follow Mac on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 170. Go show them some love over there on the bird. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazzes over there on Twitter or on YouTube. And if you've already subbed, thank you, my friends. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. So, up next, we have a first-time submitting artist by the name of Aviarts. They submitted a track titled In and Out. Old account got banned. Let's get it, baby. Okay. I feel you. We got you. Alright. Oh, so this is the Sippas. I believe this is... Oh, okay, so this is Braden's crew. Alright. I fuck with this. Okay. Alright, so this is definitely an artist that we've either heard Braden collab with. I think it was last week in their collab track or something like that. But, let's get into it, man. From the Sippas account, Aviarts, In and Out. Let's go. Holy shit. Damn. What? No way, it just cuts off right there. That is crazy as hell. That is really crazy. How long was that? 105. Yeah. Now that was one of those like coming in out short bangers, man. That was a great first time submission. Holy shit. Okay. Cool things to talk about here. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. And talk about the overall theme of the track. So, oh man, oh man. All right, In and Out is actually a fire ass title for this. So let's talk instrumental, man. What a sample to pick, and shit, if you ain't redlining, you ain't headlining, right? So, the mix is definitely like real muddy and real gritty. But let's talk about the instrumental mix first. For what it is, right? Like it's very much intentionally mixed like this. So I like me personally, like I'm a fan of the blown out sound, right? Like you have so many projects that do really well with this kind of like very much teetering like red line kind of sound, but it's not like blown out, you know, like it's definitely like up there though. Very gritty, very muddy. But me personally, I like it. So if you're into that kind of thing, you're definitely gonna like this a lot. Um Kind of reminds me of like old 2018 like alt pop with the way it's kind of like fast paced. But outside of that, nothing too crazy. Nothing like super clashing, overbearing. I definitely still think vocals sit nice, which is solid. Like because there's so much going on, right? But I do think the vocals sitting nice on it is definitely a W for sure. So for what it is, the instrumental mix is definitely right where it needs to be. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. I really like the drums a lot. I feel like the drums are such a high point in this, but I do like the sample a lot, right? Just because it's such a well-known sample. But I'm gonna have to go with drums, just because super fast pace, again, super muddy, gritty. I like the 808 a lot. Really solid, really really solid. So for me, drums definitely. Um, so instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix definitely really solid. Like I said, I like the way that they sit on this instrumental, especially with like how intense and like how much this instrumental has going on. I feel like it's such a notable thing that the vocals are still very clear and like super crisp, and the drums actually cut through nicely, right? Like nothing's like super clashy. So you gotta tip that. So vocal mix solid, definitely right where it needs to be for a track like this. Um, Vocal Shining Star. I really like the flow and cadence a lot, but I feel like the writing like could be like just understated or forgotten or just like overlooked because the flow and cadence is so good and the instrumental so good, but I do feel like the writing's definitely up there. Because there was a lot of like significant punchlines here, right? Like the in and out line is great. Like there's a couple good like solid lines here. So for me, I'm gonna pick writing, but I do think flow and cadence is up there too. So instrumental solid. Definitely the drums. A vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Now, this is a crazy ass photo. What a throwback this is, man. So look, these type of covers are always going to be solid, just because it's like a Easter egg type cover, right? But for me, kind of always brings back that underground feel. So maybe slightly biased here, but solid cover, definitely. For a quick single, definitely a solid cover. Overall theme, I mean, realistically, the title is inspired by one of the lines in the song. So, like, I wouldn't say that there's like a crazy overall theme here. I definitely do think that you should be paying attention to lyrics, the flows, the cadence, the punchlines, and really just appreciating this writing showcase for sure. Um, but yeah, this is one that you gotta break down a couple times and just really like let flow through you for sure. With that said, huge shout out to Sippas and Aviorts. Thank you so much for the submission, my friends. Much love. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 5 followers away from 60. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter as well. They are 8 followers away from 50. So go show them some love with the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers, man. We upload 2 times a week, Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episode, 2 segments, a lot of good jazzes over there. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some motherfucking love. If you already have, thank you, my friends. Let's fucking get it. So, let's go. All right, up next we have the homie Ozzy Bug. Now they actually submitted last week, but we didn't get a chance to get to it. So this week we're gonna double down and get to it. A very talented alternative vocalist submitted Dumb. Let's see what we got here, chat. I am down for the cause. So, pop this open a new tab. Give it a quick pause, Rooney. We got some lyrics and description. Let's get into it. Ozzy Bug, Dumb. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Damn. Dude, the mix on that is really fucking solid. Like a lot of like the extra like layering and the ad libs and just come on, man. Like what? Okay. Um, the writing on this is really solid too, to be honest. All right, so let's break this down. Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of the track. So, yeah. Let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix. Fantastic, to be honest with you. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Melody super prominent. Drums are right where they need to be. Vocals set nice. Sound selection's nice. Definitely no gripes with the instrumental at all. And definitely a very like Ozzy Bug kind of instrumental, right? Like kind of like alt pop-ish. Definitely like teetering on like the indie, almost like dance vibe a little bit. So I like the choice, but mix is solid. Instrumental Shining Star. You know, it's really got to be the melody, no? Like I like the drums a lot, but the melody is super like memorable and fun and kind of like lighthearted. So for me, definitely got to be the melody. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fantastic on this. Like, there's a lot of like small things that we could really dive into, right? Like some effects and a lot of like the extra layering and the ad libs and just so many small things about this mix I really like. But the overall mix itself is super solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely, like I said. Vocals definitely sit nice, and it's not doing too much, right? Like, I definitely think it's like a good middle ground for what they're trying to achieve with this sound, right? It's definitely not like too overboard. Like I definitely think it has like a nice middle ground. So this one's definitely top tier for sure. So mix is super solid. Vocal Shining Star. Now, flow and cadence is up there for me, but I think I'm gonna have to go with writing here. I really feel like the writing on this is like a great mix of like storytelling, but also kind of like keeping the same current point of view. And Ozzy's very talented at this. A lot of their tracks are very like perspective written, and this one definitely lines up for me there. So writing definitely writing. So let's see. Instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I mean, come on, it definitely brings that like early 2000s, maybe like 2010-ish kind of vibe. but it also is a play on the title, right? Because dumb, like you have the finger trap, and like it's just such a like a simple cover to use for something like this. So I like the choice a lot, especially for like a quick single, right? So, cover definitely on point for sure. Overall theme. Now, this is really cool because I feel like everybody goes through this once in their life. It's like character development kind of shit. Like, no matter who you are, whatever. Like, I really feel like everybody kind of goes through this type of feeling, right? Where you're just kind of like overcommitted to a person. Whether it be in your younger years, in your teen years, in your 20s, doesn't matter. I feel like this is very relatable for a lot of people. But I think the thing that sticks out about this is like the way it's written from like you're just looking back on the past kind of perspective. Because you could have totally wrote this in like the aspect that like it happened yesterday, but it's very much like a throwback kind of story, but it sounds like it was written today. That's what's cool about it. So it's almost diary like, but it still brings a very fresh feel. So well done. Well done. Huge shout out to Ozzy Bug. Thank you so much for your submission, my friend. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 8 followers away from 60. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are 6 followers away from 250 W milestone. Let's get it. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazzes over there. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel. Some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. All right. I believe this is the last submission of the night because Michael Quest and I Love Macaroni do not follow the Music Mondays Twitter account. So, per usual, submissions are free. They always have been. They always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you is that you follow the Music Mondays podcast on Twitter before you submit, just to pay respect to everybody else that does submit every week and waits for their submissions to get reacted to. And of course, you get to support our platform and help spread our message, and you gain access to a wonderful network of very, very talented creatives. But with that said, feel free to submit next week after you follow, and we'll be happy to react to all of your submissions. So, last submission of the night, the homie Lore, a first-time submitting artist, submitted anyone else. Let's see what we got here. I am down. First-time submitting artist, so we're going in super, super blind, don't know what to expect. Let's get it. Lots of love in the comments? Okay. Alright. Let's get into it. Lore, first time submitting artist, anyone else?
You're tougher than I thought. What it has to be. You got me flattened on it. I'm trying to make this shit make sense. This shit better than fucking past tense. It's not enough for you, I can't find. I can't find anyone else quite like you. You say no one like me, like bitch, I ain't do this. You really must think that I'm new to this. Only one chance, but I blew this shit. The way people treat me, I'm through this shit. Swear to God, I cannot do this shit. Like, why the fuck do you think this shit's okay? Swear to God, all these people been so fake. I swear to God, all these people been so lame. How everybody gon' switch on me in only one day? You say you had my back, you ain't had it. I'm gon' smoke till I'm at it. You ain't seen this side of me yet. By the time that I'm 20, I'm dead. None of your pussies are my fucking friends. I'm so surprised it took me this long to realize I want any girl in my life. You know my God, bitch, I'm so tired. Mine's a tired, bitch, I really have vibe.
Oh shit. Really solid outro. Wow. Okay, so 9 days ago, super, super new. First time submitting artist. Let's break this down, man, because this is a really unique track. This is really, really fucking unique. Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental. I love the choice a lot. Super dark, ethereal, has this like dark trap kind of feel to it, definitely. But the mix is great. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Got a little bit of mud to it, but I think it definitely adds a lot of like quality to the track. So the mix is very much on point when it comes to the instrument. Like I said, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals definitely sit nice. Nice and muddy. Nothing that really like threw me off for this one. Instrumental Shining Star. I mean, the melodies are up there, the samples are up there, but it's got to be the drums. There's no way it's not the drums. The drums are super fucking gritty. Sound selection's great. Patterns are great. It's just very gritty, man. So drums all day for sure. Instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. This is a really, really solid vocal mix. It's not like super processed, but it has this again, like gritty kind of feel to it, but nothing that really like threw it off. Like if anything, like I feel like these vocals like added such a dark tone to this track that's like, man, like once you just flick this on, you're like, oh shit, like you kind of know you're in for something different when it comes to the vocal mix for sure. So, with that said, nothing clashing, nothing too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals definitely sit nice. I just love the darker tone that mixes with like the instrumental. I definitely think the mix is really, really sure. It just adds so much to this 100%. So vocal mix on point, right where it needs to be for, you know, this kind of sound. Vocal Shining Star. Now, I'm kind of caught between the flow and cadence and the writing. I do feel like the writing is very meaningful. It was definitely coming from a place of like emotion. But the flow and cadence definitely like added a lot of substance to this as well. So I feel like that's very notable. But for me, for a first time submission, I'm probably gonna go with writing just because it was so well written and like just super fucking honest. So for me, gotta be writing for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Insane cover, definitely on the more like abstract side, but once again, one of those covers, the more you look at it, the more you kind of see, and you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Dark tone, just like the track, definitely matches, perfect single art, not even a question, for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme. Now, again, this is one of those like very honest tracks when it comes to emotion and writing and like, you know, we've had a couple of those tracks tonight where I feel like people kind of use music as their outlet to kind of deal with like everyday bullshit that they have going on, right? Whether you're splitting from friends, relationship, partners, things like that. This track definitely falls in line with one of those that was used to get a lot of emotions and things off your chest, right? Which I think is such an important part of music, and this one definitely brought that like darker, honest tone to it, where I feel like, man, like you can't replicate art like this because it comes from such a real place. So I do love the honesty of this a lot. But again, like it's tracks like these that kind of like push you further in life and of course in your musical sound as well. So well done, my friend. Well done. Make sure you go follow Lore on SoundCloud. They are 6 followers away from 220. So go show them some love over there on the cloud. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are 8 followers, man. They're 8 followers. Go get them to 10 followers. I'm gonna drop a follow too, man. So go show Lore some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episode. Segments, a lot of good jazzes over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friend. So, that does it for submissions for episode 170 of the Music Mondays podcast, my friends. Huge shout out to everybody that tuned in, shown love, and submitted tonight. So, we're going to talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week. We're going to show some love, and we're going to close out the show. So, let's fucking get it, my friends. All right, so with that motherfucking said, huge shout out to everybody that submitted and showed love tonight, man. Huge shout out to Sans. Huge shout out to Johnny Smoke, Single Digits, Braden, Derek, Broken Nomads, Dry My Eyes, Offspring Hysteria, Smack 2 Times, Aviorts, Ozzy Bug, and Lore. Huge shout out to you guys, man. And Michael Quest and I Love Macaroni and Cheese. Make sure you follow next week and resubmit your tracks. And huge shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight and showed motherfucking love in the stream, man. Huge shout out to Vac, Jaded, huge shout out to Dry My Eyes, anybody else that came through and lurked and chilled. You are greatly appreciated. Let's fucking get it. So, like I said, a lot of really stacked content will be live on Music Mondays this week. We got a couple of interviews and articles dropping. A couple of YouTube uploads are in the works. And of course, in the background, we have Curing Cases of the Mondays, our second album underway. So again, make sure you follow us on Twitter to stay up to date with everything that Music Mondays is doing. And make sure you go check out the whole show, man, because we went over a lot of really good stuff. So make sure you go check out our weekly recap and all that good jazz. The top 3 artists of episode 170 will be live tonight. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter at All Music Mondays. And of course, just expect your usual regular weekly and monthly content to continue. Per usual, make sure you follow Music Mondays on all platforms, man. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, at All Music Mondays. And of course, make sure you sub to the channel, man. We're like 7 subs away from 270, so go show the channel some love. And of course, per usual, make sure you stream All Music Mondays episodes on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that good jazz. Anchor.fm/All Music Mondays. And Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are still available right now, so make sure you go get yours today, man. Contact us. We'll be happy to ship one out to you. And per usual, this will be live on all audio platforms this Thursday, and it'll be live on YouTube this Saturday. And of course, if you're watching this live or you're watching the VOD back, submissions will be open tomorrow, April 23rd. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, submissions are already open, so go drop your tracks, man. Go drop your motherfucking tracks. And of course, make sure you follow, subscribe below. Everything linked below, all the socials, all the good stuff is linked down below for Zom Slays. We stream like literally 6 days a week, so make sure you go follow the channel and come through. But per usual, man, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love. The boy Zom Slays. Make sure you follow me at Zom Slays, and like I said, everything linked below, socials, all the good jazz linked down below. We'll be live tomorrow per usual, but we'll be live for episode 171 of the Music Mondays podcast next fucking Monday. Stay tuned, be safe. I love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you next week for the Music Mondays podcast. Later.